Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am your girl Molinda Jae, and I'm here to do my review on the episode of Grown in Gospel, girl. All right, so this is the second episode of Grown in Gospel. All right, and it starts off as Tasha and Elijah. So Tasha and Elijah going to the furniture store by the request of Jay to pick out some new furniture for Bree's new place. Also mentions having a birthday party, so she low-key invites Elijah and Tasha to her birthday party. And also as she arrived, Tasha, she's just giving just like, I want her to just amp up her wardrobe and be like, yes, I am that. Okay, I hold the energy. I am gospel royalty and all those type of things. But Tasha has mentioned that the church, when it comes to the church and dressing up, and how she would like Bree to amp up her wardrobe, as well as Elijah as well. You know, with church, when you go to church, what do you see? You see hats, you see the fur, just depending on what location you are at. You see the 3-piece suit with the crease in the front. You see the motherboard and their gear, and they prayer cloth on their legs to cover their legs. And also you see the gloves of the ushers. But overall, the congregation as a whole is a way to show up and show out. Okay, going into your Sunday's best. So overall, when it comes to the likings of Elijah and Tasha, they would like to basically just do a makeover for her. Okay, just to, because when you look good, you feel good in the end, right? So moving right along, Bree asks Elijah what is his legacy. So this is when they get to sit down while they're furniture shopping. And Bree asks Elijah, so what is his legacy? And Elijah just simply respectfully tells her at the time, well, first he just give out the illusion, have you not been watching TV? And she was like, no, I haven't been watching TV. Elijah replied back saying, well, since you have not been watching TV, okay, the difference between him and Bree is that he doesn't rely or just feel the need to rely on the foundations that his parents have established in order to get what he wants in life. Basically being a Nepo baby and piggybacking off of the family's legacy in order to move through the realms of the gospel sector, or just anything in general. Because it's all about, what experiences have you gained along the journey to getting to the goal that you want to go, getting to where you want to go. And he also says he is who he is as Elijah and not the family name. So he doesn't allow the family name to define him. Besides him being a preacher's kid, he just don't allow it to define him. So Bree goes on and says, well, she is here to do it on her own as far as her legacy wise. Just again, trying to find her feet in the water in the best way she can. But you can also just indicate a little rift between her and Elijah. I don't know if it's because the blonde hair type of effect, and they probably mirror each other to a certain degree. And far as like the aesthetic or just the personality traits wise, is giving mirror image to me. So this is when he has said, well, it's good to take it's good to learn and take constructive criticism, besides the fact that she didn't invite him. Okay, so basically in this scenario, Elijah is like, it's okay to take constructive criticism in regards to your journey. But Bree, on the flip side, she's like, but I did not invite you originally. It was just Tasha and not you. So why are you here? That's what she was giving. So basically, Bree is stating in regards to her legacy, she is content where she's at for now. But as far as how she dresses, she doesn't feel the need to be all flashy, and showing to prove her self-worth behind what she really wants to do. She doesn't want to hide behind a wolf. You know, she don't want to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. She doesn't want to be behind the mask. She wants to be who she wants to be, but not being forced to, you know, change. Okay, because it seems like she's went through enough changes in her life, and she just simply trying to find her way. So that's when Tasha brings about, well, it seems like Bree has not found her star factor yet. However, and Bree agrees to this, and she is simply just trying to find her way. Elijah had went on and said in this particular conversation that, you know, mindset is the mindset for him at the end of the day, meaning whatever you're thinking, it's already set in precedence of whatever things to come. So in order for you to want positive things, you're going to have a positive mindset. Okay. So, and also they mentioned that she still doesn't know who she is, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. But they, at the end of this conversation, they propose to her, could they, or does she trust them in regards to, I guess, going through this makeover type of deal. My thoughts about this particular scene was that, and this is what I wrote in my notes. If y'all see me looking back and forth, I'm looking at my notes. But as far as I know, they mean well, but material possession can only do so much. Yes, mindset is everything, but until she finds her spark, then the path will clear out for her, so she can be able to reach to those goals. But right now, she's just trying to get her feet wet for the most part. But on the flip side, you know, Jay into action. Now, the next scene, we have Elijah. He said he's an independent artist. He is the last musician in his family, meaning he dropped out of college. His mama and brother are doctors. So he said not only he is producing, but he is directing and performing his music video. And so that segues into him meeting up with Bree, Tasha, and Nikki, and Jay Brooks, as well as Gwen, the event planner at. This is where he is supposed to be filming his single, his music video for his single. And oh gosh. Okay, first, when he arrived on the scene, he was being extra. Okay, we can already know, we should know, or you should know by now, that Elijah is the extra one out of the group. Okay, material wise and behavior wise. Okay, and so he walks in and he was like, "What is this?" Because the setup is supposed to be a live stage, because that's how the music video is supposed to be presented. That is going to be live action. And he also stated that he was a little dizzy, but he still wanted to push through the project. And I was like, uh-oh. But other than that, you know, he was talking to his event planner and Bree, and I believe it was Tasha that was there. And there were balloons, you know, the balloon arches that was there, that be at the birthday parties and stuff, as part of the decoration. And he started tussling and bustling with the balloons, and I was like, girl, he was like, being dramatic and everything. I'm like, okay, just wrestle with the balloons. They not doing anything. girls, but other than that, he just went in the back and got dressed so he can be able to film his live action video, music video. And then when he appeared on the stage to do the performance as the video was recording, he had leather pants on with fur. And then you got the heat of the lights shining on you, bro. And I'm glad he came out of the fur, because I know that's a lot of heat. And then for you to go on stage, that's extra heat on you. Okay, the pastors that be televised on the television, they are not sweating for no reason. It's the heat from them production lights that is basically steaming on them, that is basically cooking them. All right, that's why they be walking back and forth, so they can get some air and stuff like that. And what happens? He unexpectedly passes out on stage. And more than likely, it was due to exhaustion, because he said he was basically making sure everything was right and doing everything himself, DIY, etc. And so I was like, okay, yeah, he definitely fell out with the exhaustion. He did not listen to his body, so his body shut down for him. And so Jay Brooks and them, they sitting there like, boy, get up, because they thought he was playing, because he's already dramatic, so they thought he was playing. They thought, well, they didn't know it was part of the script neither, but it was just a simple fact, like, okay, Elijah, get up, boy. But since he did not get up within 2 to 3 minutes, then that's when it got very serious. And Bree, she ended up calling 911, and then the rest of them rushed on stage to try to make sure he was still breathing. When it comes to situations like that, it is just best for a couple people to make sure he's fine, because if everybody's coming at once and the circle is just enclosing with no air circulating, all that body heat is just gonna make it worse for the person that is already laid up on the ground trying to gain consciousness. So at least Bree had called 911 so the ambulance could come and take him to the hospital. But he kept talking about, I still gotta do this music video. And I'm like, no, Elijah, no. Your body already told you it's exhausted. Why and how? By shutting you down, because you still want to move forward. So now is the time to take care of yourself, because you are burnt out at this point. And his performance and his work ethic, which I salute to him doing that. But other than that, when it comes to seeking perfection, it can drive you crazy, which had happened in this scene, and it leads to the point of exhaustion. However, he has to learn how to work smarter and not harder, and gain some balance, as well as low key. In my opinion, he just possesses the wolf in sheep's clothing because of him being flashy in every scene. And I get it, you enjoy the finer things in life, but it seems like just as much as he want to rub it off on Bree, it also seems like he wants to force her hand into matching his energy per se, if you get my drift. But again, I like his work ethic. He just gotta listen to his body, because when your body is trying to tell you something, you better listen, or it's gonna do it for you. Next scene is basically is Tasha, Nikki, and Jay meeting up at Nikki at her mom's house, and they get to talking about what happened at the video shoot with Elijah, and they talk about Bree. I think they talk about Bree a little bit, but all in a nutshell, they thought he was playing for the most part, because again, his dramatic antics. But also Jay had went in a little detail about the card game that they was playing, And I believe they was playing the game Tuck. Like I said, I don't know how to play card games other than Uno and Goldfish. Don't look. I was traveling a lot when I was young. I was doing a lot while I was young. I was traveling and doing a lot of community service work and all the other stuff. So don't those are the only card games I know. I can sit beside someone during the card game and rub some good luck on them, but that's about it. Okay. All right. And then they merge into Bree conversation again, talking about her progress, and then going from reflecting on her being on tour, I believe by herself and her father as well, being married and divorced before, and getting over and moving in for a new moving pass and something like that. But I was like, dang, I didn't know she was married and divorced. So I see some patterns happen in her parents and their relationship, and her relationship with just by being married and being divorced, because her parents had already been married and divorced before. So that's just a couple of things I caught on. So this is when they move into the issue of when it comes to not working with her father, she can't keep blaming her dad on what he didn't do for her. I guess basically, opening up the door enough for her to shine, per se. She basically has to do it on her own. And they want to hear what the daddy didn't do. Well, they don't want to hear what the daddy didn't do anymore in regards to Bree explaining her situation, because they consider that as an excuse at this point. But at the end of the day, she has to show people that she actually is serious and consistent in what she wants to do, because all she wants to do is all talk and no action. So my thoughts on this situation is, like I said, or this particular scene, I noticed the pattern. And Bree is going, when it comes to Bree being married and divorced, and her parents being married and divorced. But at the end of the day, I would not be surprised if she has the feeling of if she is not doing the right thing, or if she is enough. And furthermore, along down the episode, it really solidified what I just said not too long ago, because I'm like, it gives off the feeling that she feels like she's not enough, because every time she attempts to do something, it's not enough. Okay, especially from an authoritative figure like a father figure. So within the next scene, that's when Jay Brooks meets with Shayna. So this is where, I told you Shayna's gonna end up appearing on the second episode, and that was just me guessing, okay? But she has arrived, honey. This is when she is pregnant at the time, I believe with the second child, and that her relationship with her and Brooks, they're basically catching up with each other, because they've been friends ever since the age of 16. And he wanted to bring her attention, or the reason for this meetup was the conflict between her and Tasha. It has been brought to Tasha's attention that Shayna was talking about her, and Nikki basically inserted herself in, I guess, being the messenger between both of the two. It may have been that Shayna was talking to Nikki, and Nikki thought she was talking about Tasha, so she went back and returned the message to the person. And Jay Brooks was like, hey, how can we get to a resolution about this? Because it seems like the way Shayna explained it, and it seems like Tasha and her husband is in a rocky place within their marriage. And the fact that someone close to her was talking about her, she felt some type of way. So it caused her to be like Okay, I'm gonna keep my eyes on you real close type of deal. So Jay, all in a nutshell, was like, okay, what can we do to resolve this? And I was like, I know, have a conversation, all of them, one-on-one conversation. Shayna, Tasha, and Nikki. That way, Nikki, since Nikki had inserted herself, I was like, okay, all three of y'all get together, talk, so y'all can get back to being friends again. All right. So at the end of the day, my thoughts on this particular situation is that Shayna and Tasha just definitely need to talk to each other, because it's clearly been a minute since they talk. There's no need to play telephone game when it comes to people spreading rumors, spreading lies, and those type of deal. Like, we possess a phone 24/7. Use it. FaceTime, Facebook call, WhatsApp, Zoom call, Meetup, something. There's literally no excuse to resolve the situation at this point. So hopefully they can resolve it. Next thing, we have everybody arrives at the birthday party, and the birthday party is happening at a fellowship hall, and literally it's giving like flashbacks when there's like a celebration and they want to remain in budget, so the decoration is going to reflect the budget. The cake, it came from, it looked like the local grocery store, and that's okay. I mean, if she likes the cake, we love the cake, right? If she likes the decoration, we love the decoration. But everyone else is looking at the decor like, girl, we could have hooked you up, but you got to understand, she's in another mind frame right now. So they sung, she sung her voice. Well, she sung a song for them, and it was titled "Don't Faint Now," and her voice is very beautiful. Okay, this is my first time hearing her voice, but in this manner. Okay, I may have heard her voice once before and never even realized it was her, but she has a beautiful voice. But the delivery, her captivating the audience, I do have to agree with that. She has to be able to captivate the audience, as her voice is melting like butter, like they said. Her voice is like butter. So she's gonna have to work on that, and that's why I said in the beginning that her self-esteem is definitely a work in progress. I'm gonna say that it's a work in progress. But overall, my thoughts with this, because it was just nobody but the cast that showed up, is that even though nobody else outside of the group came to her party, the least that they could do is just be there to support her, even though she is not elevated as they are yet. When I mean elevated, like in their career yet. And then that's when it led to the gift giving. Tasha gave her some money, and then Elijah gifted her some YSL boots, and those were lovely. Okay, with the YSL initials on the heel, and she took off the boots that she wore to the event and put on those boots. So I thought that was cute, a very good gesture. But again, he's all concerned about her looks, and that could be a problem leading on further on the episode. So then they get to wishing her happy birthday, singing her happy birthday, and then he dipped his finger in the cake, and she was very disgusted about that, and was like, well, the rest of the cake is basically damaged at that point. And I agree with her. Why would you put your finger in the cake like that? I mean, it's almost like a slight dig, like, yeah. Now what you gonna do? So she basically was fed up at that point, and she really got fed up when he put her boots, the boots that she came into the party, right, the ones that she bought with her own money, he put her boots in like a little the container where the cake, he literally put a couple of plates napkins empty, and then her boots in there as if it was trash. And I'm like, dang, the disrespect of it all. But she sees that as he places it on the table, and she is definitely fed up and just wants to leave. So she starts crying. She rushes out to leave. And then also she goes into the car. Well, first they stop her at the door, but then she told him she just wanted to go and she was done for the night and let her be. And that's when she went to the car, and then Tasha and Nikki met up with her and asked her, hey, are you okay? And she was like, I'm really just trying to make it out here. I'm really doing the best I can. And she said, overall with all of them, when it comes to growing up with celebrity figures like their parents and having to share their parents with us as audience, as they entertain us during any occasion that we go to listen to them, that leads the kids feeling neglected, because they're gone majority of the time touring and doing music sessions, and the list go forward, especially when the child is not able to go with them, and is literally for their own safety. But it's just something to think about and give them the grace as a human being in general, as like the job, like a regular job, is taking majority of your energy from showing love, care, and affection for your child. And because once you get home, what do parents? We're exhausted. We want to just eat. We want to relax. We want to just go to bed and recuperate for the next day. And you got the children coming, wanting your attention, wanting your love and affection. And sometimes you do that, and sometimes you just don't want to do it. Okay. But at the end of the day, she just told Tasha and Nikki that, hearing another man lecturing her about what she should look like, what she should do, it just triggers her. And I get it. I get her when it comes to that. It triggers her because it just feels like it's not enough. When you're trying to seek the validation of a father figure, especially for a daughter, you're trying to seek the validation, the acceptance from your father, because he is one of your first loves before you meet your significant other, right? Besides the creator, right? When you don't get that recognition, and all you doing is getting rejection majority of the time, it does affect your psyche, because that's how you're going to continue on with relationships with other people, especially with your significant other, is that each time they reject you in some manner, you're going to get triggered because you are not able to get that acceptance as you were growing up. Okay, so that's just something to think about. But again, Elijah, he's doing too much. He don't know when to read room majority of the time. But I hope during the next couple of episodes he will begin to read the room, especially when it comes to Bree concern. Otherwise, I can see them two bumping heads, and I'm pretty sure it will at the end. So my thoughts of this situation that happened at the birthday party and what she has revealed to Tasha and Nikki is that it's obvious that Bree is going through it, and that she needs support, so she can be able to help her. However, she has to be willing to be receptive of the feedback. So that is one thing I do agree with Elijah. She's gonna have to be receptive on the feedback, but don't make it to where it's more of a critical critique in a authoritative manner. Make your critique understandable enough for her to grasp what you're trying to give her in regards to your feedback, but not in a so harsh manner. There's only so much that she can take for as like a critique, but she does need to be receptive to feedback on that. Okay. However, she is not there yet. So whenever she is able to give the hardcore, tough love, constructive criticism, then she'll do just fine. Okay. However, she's gonna have to go back to the beginning. She's going until she is able to reconcile, and reestablish a firm foundation with her dad again, because there's still some fine line in between there in regards to her acceptance, getting his blessing. And whenever that happens for him, even if it's just one little step of giving her the slightest blessing, then she'll be able to reconstruct herself and accept herself wholeheartedly. That way she can be able to create and express herself truly and authentically. That way she can captivate the audience and have her voice fill up our hearts like butter. Okay. And make it as sultry and uplifting as possible, to where we feel like we are connected to the Most High. Okay. But all that rejection, that lecturing, that neglect, that self-sabotage, it is definitely getting the best of her at the end of the day. But those are my thoughts of the Grown in Gospel episode 2. It's a lot of lessons to learn with just viewing this series in general, and I hope you all can take something away from this as well, because I see myself in Bree sometimes. I see myself in every character, but I definitely see some correlation with Bree, and I know as time goes by, she will be able to get where she would like to be at. And all it does is take time and patience, and addressing those childhood traumas and healing from those childhood traumas. And yeah, I wish nothing but love, strength, and healing to all of them, and especially Bree at the end of the day. But that's all I have for now. I thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share,